In late 2014, a man in a Houston, Texas health club claims he encountered a bizarre sight. He recalled that he was working out on an elliptical machine, which was situated only about 15 feet away from the club's front desk. As he worked out, he noticed a couple approach the desk. From what he could tell, they were middle-aged. She had black hair and pale skin and was slightly overweight. Her male companion was medium tall, rather muscular, and had dark skin. The woman stood in front of the man and handed her club ID to the receptionist. As the receptionist checked the card, the woman looked down at the top of the desk where some flyers were sitting. At that moment, the witness saw, or thought he saw, an enormous tongue dart out of the woman's mouth, almost snake-like. The tongue was clear-colored, almost transparent, and it seemed to have 1 or 2 reddish lines in the center. It was about 4 or 5 inches long. Even though it was brief, it was enough to startle him. The witness looked at her male companion and was again surprised at how odd he looked. He vaguely resembled the character Worf from Star Trek fame. This man didn't move or say anything, but seemed to have noticed the witness watching them. After they were done checking in, they walked upstairs to the weight room, something that the witness had intended on doing when he finished with the elliptical machine. Something about this couple frightened him, and he contemplated not finishing his workout. He eventually decided to finish and headed upstairs where he resumed his regular routine. It was a large weight room, and he could not see the couple anywhere, so he, for the most part, put them out of his mind. As he was finishing up, he saw the woman rushing ahead of him to pick up a loose weight disc lying on the floor. As she did this, she looked at him intensely, directly into his eyes, her mouth tightly closed. She then turned around and walked off. Her actions were deliberate, as if she wanted to get his attention and let him know that she knew what he knew, possibly to frighten him, or maybe confirm his suspicions. The witness never saw the couple again and, to this day, wonders if he actually encountered a pair of reptilian-type beings that day, or had he, due to his interest in ufology, maybe imagined the whole thing. On August 15, 2015, a man in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, waiting in a customer line at a Pep Boys auto shop, had a bizarre run-in with a strange woman. It was sometime in the afternoon when a small woman entered the shop. She was oddly dressed and looked to be in her 70s or early 80s due to her messy gray hair, which fell around about her chin line. She was about 4.5 feet tall and wore very short, baggy, unironed shorts and a baggy, unironed blouse. She had very thin legs and arms and grayish, pinkish skin. He assumed that she might have progeria syndrome, but dismissed this as her face appeared normal. The witness eventually brushed it off and went to sit down in a nearby waiting room. He was seated there for about 15 minutes when he saw the woman approach the all-glass door, which led into the waiting room. She had a book and a drink in her hand and seemed unable to open the door. The witness rose to help her, but another person sitting closer to the door reached over and opened it for her. She then sat down at a right-degree angle from the witness. She was sitting at 90 degrees, and he was sitting at 180 degrees, about 4 feet away from him. He was curious about her since she seemed so strangely dressed. He looked directly at her eyes, and her eyes met his, and it was then that he noticed she had no white eyeballs. Her eyes were completely black. The sight of her black eyes startled the witness. The strange woman seemed to take notice of his fright because she instantly rose from her chair and walked out of the waiting room. No more than 20 seconds later, the witness rose from his chair and attempted to follow her, but she was nowhere to be found. He even searched for her to no avail. It was as if she had vanished. In late December 2014, a woman and her husband, Charlie, shopping at a Walmart in Washington, Missouri, had a bizarre run-in with another humanoid being. They had arrived at the store to get food for a big dinner they were having that Sunday. They had all been sick over Christmas, so they had postponed it to the following weekend. The witness claims that they had just stepped into the aisle when they saw a strange being coming towards them. I about died of shock when I saw it, the witness recalled. She claimed that the being was about 5'5". It was pushing a cart with the tiniest little white hands and extremely long fingers. Its complexion was snow white. Its nose was just a little bump, and its mouth was just a tiny little line, almost like a crease. Its eyes were incredibly large, almond-shaped, that stretched around the sides of its head. They were black and shiny, like an insect's eyes. Its hair was cut blunt, right below the jawline. There was black, shiny hair that looked like a cheap nylon wig sitting atop the being's small head. Its neck was very small, about the thickness of the witness's wrist. The neck went down into clothing that looked like it was hanging on a hanger. It was very thin, almost as thin as cardboard. The witness could not tell if the being she was looking at was male or female. She turned to Charlie, who was right behind her. He looked on seemingly dumbfounded. The witness then looked around to see if any other customers were seeing what she was seeing. There was only one lady who appeared equally as shocked as the witness. In fact, she appeared as though she was about to pass out and strained and struggled to get her cart turned around and out of the aisle. The being passed the witness and appeared to go around the corner to the next aisle. It never acknowledged her. She thought she would take another look to confirm for herself what she saw was real. She turned to follow, but incredibly, the being had vanished. It hadn't been more than 2 seconds that she didn't have it in her sight, but somehow it was gone. She checked all surrounding aisles and found nothing. The witness and her husband didn't discuss the matter until they got back to their car. She asked him what he thought it was, and Charlie told her that he thought they had encountered an alien. Did an alien really peruse a Walmart store? Did a black-eyed being really get her car fixed at a Pep Boys? And did a pair of shape-shifting reptilians make use of a weight room at a Houston health club? Of course, skeptics will suggest that these encounters are nothing more than people allowing their imaginations to get the better of them. But what if they aren't? What if these things are actually happening, and people are encountering strange beings in seemingly mundane situations? There is an enormous body of reports in which witnesses claim to encounter alien-type beings in shopping centers, sporting events, and at bars. Is it possible that there is a race of beings, be they from another star system or from another dimension, living among us, taking on our forms, such as was depicted in the film They Live? And is it possible that occasionally that mask slips off, allowing regular people to see them in their true form?